I'm Trace.
And I'm Sam.
And we want to suck your blood. And this is from our perspective. Happy Halloween, everyone. That was very spooky, Sam.
I know, I scared myself a little. I was like, ah.
We are rounding out Spooktober with our Halloween Spooktacular 2020.
That's right.
We're getting back at it. You know, it's Halloween time. I'm just trying to figure out what I need to say. It's Halloween time, though.
It is.
It's upcoming Saturday is Halloween. It would be better if the episode went out closer to Halloween, but we're starting the week off right, baby.
That's right.
We're getting everyone ready for Spook Week, because that's what this is.
Spooky.
Yeah. Glad you could join us for the Halloween Spooktacular 2020.
I was really happy I could be on this episode.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to the audience.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was hoping that we could actually get Tom Hanks instead of you this year.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be better.
Yeah, but he was busy doing other things.
He was busy being David S. Pumpkins.
Yeah, that's all he does throughout all of October. Just from like the 1st to the 31st, he's just David S. Pumpkins.
Exactly.
Whenever you look up Tom Hanks on Google, it says, "Did you mean David S. Pumpkins?" Yeah. But yeah, so thank the audience. Thank you all for joining us for this very special episode. We typically don't do this anymore, but we actually have something to talk about. Some interesting development. Before we get into the topic for today, because it also fits into the theme.
That's right.
Sam, we watched a movie, not together. We watched it separately, but we both have we both have seen this movie. Mm-hmm. You watched it the day that we're recording this.
Yes,
today.
I watched it a few hours ago.
I watched it probably about a week ago. Mm-hmm. This movie is the number one. I mean, this probably isn't a lie. The number one Halloween movie this year, Hubie Halloween, starring Adam Sandler, the lady from Modern Family, and others,
and a bunch of other people,
and like so many other people,
and Rob Schneider.
You got the
pretty much the typical Sandler bunch. Rob Schneider, Steve Buscemi, Kevin James. Mm-hmm. Shaq is becoming part of the Sandler squad.
The crew.
So he shows up.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about this movie for a little bit because it was probably the worst thing that I've ever seen.
This movie sucks.
Now.
Hey, if you liked it, I want to preface this. If you liked it, more the merrier.
Yeah, go ahead. If you're our good friend of the show, Noah, who likes literally every movie that you see, then good for you. This movie is bad.
It's
but
rough.
It was still it was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. It was getting to that point where it was so bad that it was like so ridiculous it was good.
I don't know if I could say that.
You didn't enjoy any aspect of it.
I enjoy aspects of it, yes. It was really bad though. Like
it is really bad. And then here's the other thing.
It's like it goes nowhere for half the movie. I feel like we're just wandering around aimlessly. Mm-hmm. And then eventually, like, there's like 3 red herrings right at the end, and then it's like bum, and then the movie ends.
Yeah, it does. Now, I'm not trying to defend the movie and say that it's good in any way, but the story is Adam Sandler recently came out with a movie last year called Uncut Gems. I think we probably talked about it. It was a very good movie. He did a great job performing in it. He said if he did not receive an Oscar nomination, just the nom, he just wanted the nom, he was going to make the worst movie ever made. And I cannot help but think that this is exactly what he did. And that's why I find it enjoyable, is because I feel like there's this hint of self-awareness in it, opposed to something like your typical Jack and Jill or Ridiculous Six, where it feels like it's not self-aware, it's just horrible.
I mean, is it any better if it's self-aware?
It's
still terrible.
It's still terrible, but because it's, it might just be a me thing. Because it's self-aware, it kind of gets to the point where you can laugh at it. Like, you know that he's kind of making fun of himself. I feel like he's making fun of, like, his own tropes. I feel like he's making fun of him, like, himself, kind of. And when it gets to that point, it doesn't excuse the movie, but it makes it, at least for me, more enjoyable. Because, especially, as much as I hate to see this, I think I've seen every Adam Sandler movie.
Wow.
No,
that's impressive.
okay, no, I haven't. I know I haven't seen Little Nicky. I know I haven't seen, like, one of the other Netflix movie he's made. I have not seen every Adam Sandler movie.
Okay.
But I've seen a lot of them. And I just feel like there is this aspect of him that he's parodying. And it just helps it be more enjoyable than boring. You know?
Here's what I'll say from the perspective of someone who's seen maybe 2 Adam Sandler movies. Mm-hmm. It stunk and it stunk.
It did stink.
There's no parody as far as I could see. And I couldn't understand half the words he said. The script is idiotically written.
But I think that's where
especially that last scene. That made me so angry. I was like, what the hell is this? All these people are like, oh, well, I really have this problem. And it's like, you can hate him. He's annoying.
But he do be having that. He do be having a cool thermos, though.
He do be having a thermos that defies the laws of physics.
And I think that's another aspect of it, because he's like, from what I know, he doesn't have anything else in any of his other movies that includes anything like that. Like a thermos that literally does everything. I just feel like I feel like maybe I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong,
you're giving it a little too much credit. I think he may have intended to make the worst movie ever, and I think I don't know if he pulled it off, but
no, he definitely didn't make the worst movie. Well, like I said, I found some enjoyment in it, not for the reasons that maybe a simple-minded fellow found, like when he's puking a stream of puke off his bicycle.
That was a great note to start the movie on. I was like, well, here we go. I'm strapped in.
And then that's so goofy that it felt like it didn't. It just felt fake. It felt like he knew what he was doing.
I don't think so.
Said, but okay, so here's my other case. The whole aspect of the love interest.
It was horrible.
That's what I'm saying. That he.
So you think that this was planned?
I think it was.
I think it could be planned, but it's not like. I don't think it's like smart in any way. It's just he was like, let's make the stupidest fucking movie we can.
Well, I'm not saying it's smart. I'm just trying to. You don't see what I'm saying, so I'm trying to explain.
Okay. Well, let's hear it some more.
But just like, have you seen what Adam Sandler movies have you seen? Like his goofy
Grown Ups, like maybe when I was like 14.
When it like came out, probably. Yeah.
And I think that actually might be it. No, I saw Ridiculous Six, and I wanted to die.
Okay, so I just feel like if you've seen movies like 50 First Dates or Just Go With It, which are other movies of his, the love interest, it's not well written. None of them are extremely well written. And his earlier stuff can be funny if you're like just looking for some pretty lowbrow humor. It's by no means high art. And I don't think Hubie Halloween is. So if it's coming off like I'm trying to say it's the most genius thing ever done, it's still stupid.
It's coming across. You sound like a conspiracy theorist, where you're like,
it's
all connecting. You've got your board
it's all on
with your twine.
I think it's all on purpose.
So. I think it's on purpose. I just don't think it's as clever as you're thinking it is.
And I might be wrong. It's just knowing his other movies and knowing I feel like he's playing off of tropes. Like what was that?
There's a ghost.
There's a ghost. Oh no.
What the hell did that?
Said a bunch of books fell over.
That's what it sounded like.
No.
Anyway.
Well, let's get back into it.
Hubie Halloween.
Yeah. So I feel like he looked up. I just feel like he read the most, like, all of the articles that shit on him and all of the comments that shit on him and everything that they make fun of, and said, I'm going to include that and amp it up farther.
But there wasn't any product placement.
That's true.
There weren't any racist jokes.
Well, I think those
are two things I know people have commented on before.
I think I can give a pass on the racism because I think that Adam Sandler might know better not to include it in 2020 anymore.
Maybe.
He's still a funny guy. He's got to be funny because he wouldn't be popular if he wasn't. I'm not saying that he makes good movies, but he has to be a funny guy.
I watched that movie, Trace.
Did you not hear what I just said? I'm not saying he makes funny movies, but he has to be a funny guy.
That wasn't funny.
I just said.
Then how is he funny?
Everything I do isn't funny. I don't walk up the stairs and be funny. Like, you get it?
You make a product that's funny, hopefully.
If you've seen his, he actually made a pretty good stand-up special for Netflix called 100% Certified Fresh that was really good.
You can just say you're an Adam Sandler fan. It's okay.
I am a fan of his. I think that he's a funny guy. I don't like his movies, though.
Okay.
But
we'll disagree then. That's fine.
There's no way he wouldn't be famous. Is my thing. There's no way he would be famous.
How about it's my opinion that I haven't seen him be funny. I haven't seen very much of his stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say. And then, like, the other thing is you have to, with his stuff, and even, like, his newer stuff, even if you go in with, I'm just watching a stupid comedy, the most lowbrow, easy thing that I can watch, it's still unbearable. It really is. But his earlier stuff, if you walk in and you're like, this is just dumb, I know it's dumb, it's more enjoyable. Maybe because it was newer, maybe because now we're used to it, or maybe because now he just doesn't try. I felt like there was an aspect of him trying, though. It was still, again, let me say, Hubie Halloween is a bad movie. It deserves all the hate that it gets, but I did laugh multiple times because of how absurd it got. I think absurdism is something that's very funny to me, though. Like, okay, maybe this is a spoiler. I don't care. Who the fuck cares if I spoil Hubie Halloween?
Yeah.
But the whole time it's being semi-narrated by a radio host. And Hubie is being chased by the townspeople who think that he's abducting everyone and sees the radio station that he's an avid fan of. And he runs in, and lo and behold, Shaquille O'Neal is this female, because the narrator is a female voice. Shaquille O'Neal is the DJ, is the radio host, and he has a radio voice that he puts on, and they literally like dub the voice. But is predictable as that was, it still made me laugh to see Shaq doing that just because of how weirdly absurd it was. You know?
I guess so. I didn't laugh. The only thing that made me laugh was when all the newscasters had Harley Quinn costumes.
That was pretty funny too.
That was the only thing that was kind of like, I was like, okay, that's kind of funny.
Yeah. But
and that
enough.
Steve Buscemi was somehow still a decent actor in this movie. I love him. I don't know. I just can't help it.
Steve Buscemi's perfect. He's great. That was I genuinely think that twist was unexpected. I'm not saying it was good. His twist. I was so into this world of this absurd, unrealistic laws of physics and nature that I thought that a werewolf could be possible. Steve Buscemi, there's a red herring that a werewolf is possible. That Steve Buscemi's a werewolf. And then you come to learn that he's actually an escaped mental patient, and he thinks he's a werewolf. And though it's not a great thing, I thought that they executed it pretty well as like this kind of twist.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, it's such an absurd movie. Anyway, let's stop talking about Hubie Halloween. We talked about it for far too long.
Yeah, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode.
Yeah. Just like last year for Halloween, we're repeating tradition because that's how things become tradition.
That's right.
Last year, if you have not listened to our Halloween episode, first of all, go listen to it. I think it's pretty funny. But we took it upon ourselves to write our own spooky stories to make up our Spooktacular using... Last year, I used just titles that I found on the internet, and Sam used prompts. This year, I was feeling a little bit more inspired, so I was able to use prompts as well.
I also used prompts.
So we have 3 stories each. Is that correct? I have 3. Yes. You have 3.
Yes,
okay, we have 3
spooky stories.
3 spooky stories that are probably just as bad as Hubie Halloween.
Probably worse.
Probably worse.
Probably stupider as well.
Who wants to go first?
I can go first if you want.
Do you want to flip a coin for it, or do you just want to go?
You go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. So my first prompt, I'll read the prompt and then I'll read the story, because the prompts that I found were like the sentence that started the story, but I didn't really want to. I didn't want to continue where they left off, so I'm using the prompt and then I wrote a story using it. So my prompt is: I knew I wanted to be my favorite horror character for Halloween, but I didn't expect the costume to come to life. So that's my prompt.
Okay.
It was many years ago when I decided to dress up as my favorite horror character. After watching my all-time favorite movie, Despicable Me 2, I was terrified of the nasty purple minions, or evil minions as they're called in lore. The evil minions were created after El Macho and the Mexican supervillain hired Dr. Nefario to kidnap the minions. At the start of the movie, El Macho steals an entire lab, which has a secret serum called PX41. This serum is the thing that turns the funny banana-loving critters into evil purple nasty boys. El Macho's plan is to load evil minions into rockets and to launch them to major cities across the world and take over. Dr. Nefario realizes that he has made a mistake by betraying Gru, and thus decides to help save the day by creating an antidote to save the evil minions and turn them back to their fun-loving selves. Although one evil minion escaped and managed to show up at Gru's wonderful wedding by photobombing the family picture by being scary and screaming at the audience. This is who I wanted to be. And I didn't expect the costume to come to life. And it didn't.
I hate you. You just read me a fucking Despicable 2 plot summary. And then told me nothing spooky happened. You bastard.
I was fucking writing that story, and I was Because I was originally, I didn't know that they had an actual name. I was going to be like, because I was going to say that I was just going to be a regular minion, and then I realized that there were evil versions. And I was going to call them Munions. But then I looked it up because I was like, I don't know if I want, like, if anyone's a real big Despicable Me fan and they, like, do peruse the lore.
Yeah, they run the wikis.
So I literally, in my own words, so I wasn't going to get arrested for plagiarism, typed out the plot summary of how the Munions, or the evil minions, came to be.
You really did think of that.
I did. And then I thought it would be great if I had a little twist at the end.
A little fun little twist. Oh,
but
boy.
Yeah, how'd you like it?
That was very good. It was a good twist. I
was reading it and I looked up at the Skype window and I could tell that you were getting bored by me reading the plot summary of Despicable Me 2.
No, I wasn't bored. I was angry.
I wasn't mad. I was disappointed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. What's your first story, buddy?
Okay. Mine starts with the prompt. So the prompt is the first couple sentences.
Okay.
I woke up to hear knocking on glass. At first, I thought it was the window, until I heard it coming from the mirror again. I hear a muffled voice say something into the darkness of my room. I lean in and manage to let out a weak, "Who's there?" I hear another knock at the mirror. I climb from my bed, grabbing a nearby cup to wield as a weapon. I slowly walk to the mirror on the other side of the room, leaning away from it as I tiptoe closer. I hear another muffled whisper as I get closer, and I can make out two simple words. "Knock, knock," says the voice. I take a step back and ask, "Who's there?" I can see it now. The figure of a man in my mirror becoming... Wait. I can see now the figure of a man becoming clear in my mirror. I fall backwards against my bed and clamber away from the mirror as his voice distorts more. "Banana." I cry out, "Banana who?"
It's a minion.
Gusts of wind blow away from the mirror, swirling around the room as a wicked grin forms across his face. I hear him in my ear now, whisper the words, "Banana you." I wake up in a panic, only to see myself in a kitchen. Not my kitchen, and not a kitchen I've seen, but definitely a kitchen. Then I see the man from the mirror walk in, and a small boy next to him. Where did he take this boy from? Who could he be? He reaches towards me, picks me up, and smiles. "I do love bananas."
What?
And that's the story. How'd you like it?
It had an M. Night Shyamalan twist. No, it ended like a fucking Stanley Kubrick movie. Where it became like surreal. It's good though.
Thank you.
I loved it. It spooked me straight, you know?
Yeah, I could tell you were scared. You were cowering. You had your
Yeah,
shirt
I was
up.
whimpering the whole time. That
you
was
weren't
actually, I
laughing.
wasn't laughing. It sounded like I was laughing, but that's actually what I sound like when I whimper. I go So yeah, but that was good. That was great.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'd like to thank the Academy.
I'd like to thank my agent, God, my mom.
My mom. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad.
Okay.
Brother.
Time for my
Bananas.
next bananas. The man in my mirror.
Yeah.
Time for my next story.
Okay.
Here is the prompt. On Halloween night, I ran into a real witch. She cast a spooky spell on me. And then ... It was expecting me to continue, but I didn't because I'm a trailblazer.
You're a rebel.
I'm a rebel. I'm a maverick. Okay. Last Halloween, I was out trick-or-treating and I saw a spooky house. I had somehow walked all the way from my house to a Louisiana swampland. Through the trees of the swamp, I saw a light and figured that I could get more delicious candy. I saw a small hut with an old woman standing outside. I approached her and said my classic line, "Trick or treat." She did not like that at all. She pushed me into her witch's cauldron and started to cast a zany spell. When she was done, I felt the same. I was confused and tired, so I made the 4-day walk back to Kentucky. When I made it back home, I walked inside and said hello to my family. But my mom let out a scream, my sister fainted, and my brother's face melted like the end of Indiana Jones. I had no idea what was wrong, so I scurried to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. I was in pure shock. It seemed that the size of my head had shrunk by 1%, but that is not all. My facial features, i.e. the eyes, mouth, nose, and ears, had grown by 1% as well. This was the worst thing that could ever happen. I literally had 30 heart attacks and died. Now I'm a ghost.
30, huh?
Yeah. 30 heart attacks and died, and now I'm a ghost.
Is that a true story?
Yeah, that actually happened last year.
That happened to you?
Last year.
What?
I said last Halloween.
I thought your head looked different.
You might have thought that my facial features had grown 2% larger, but it's actually they had only grown 1%, and my head itself got 1% smaller.
Yeah.
I would love to see what that would actually look like. It probably wouldn't be noticeable.
Probably not. I don't know. I feel like someone might notice.
Well, I feel like
not that you would ever be able to check that.
You'd look at me and you'd go, I feel like there's something different about your face. And I go,
off
what?
About Trace's face today.
And I'd go, oh yeah, my head shrunk 1% and my facial features grew by 1%.
And I say, how do you know that?
I measured.
You had measurements of your head features before?
Well, I figured that the moment that I put on a baseball cap and it fit better than it does with my typical large head, that something was off.
But only 1% better.
Only 1% better. And then when I put on glasses and my eyes and the glasses felt 1% smaller than typically, I was like,
then you knew.
I was like, something's off.
Then you knew what the evil witch had done to you.
Yeah.
And how dark her magics truly are.
I was so scared when she pushed me into that cauldron and started stirring me.
Right after you said your signature catchphrase.
My signature, Trace's signature catchphrase, trick or treat.
Okay. Here we go.
You got to stretch to tell this one?
I got a real spooky one for you.
Oh, okay.
Just gotta get ready.
Okay.
The prompt also begins this one.
Okay.
My friend's eyes are always red in the photos I take. It's strange since the flash on my camera hasn't worked in months. So I decide to go get that fixed. I grab my keys and a cool can of Dr. Pepper, registered trademark, and hop in my car. I drive down to Picture Perfect, the local broken flash on a camera that breaks and makes your friend's eyes really creepy store. As I walk in, I take in the view of a bunch of cameras of various sizes. Some big ones, some small ones, some littler than the first one but bigger than the second one, some smaller than the second one but some bigger than the fourth, but one was smaller than the third one but bigger than the second one. And a big vending machine with that cool, delicious drink I love so much, Dr. Pepper. Yummy.
Oh my God.
A man behind the counter catches my eye. Could he be the store owner? Or a robber? Perhaps a kindly older man who will give me life advice. I am unsure as I take another swig of Dr. Pepper, feeling the delicious taste filling my mouth. I walk up to the man and ask, "Can you fix my flash? My friend's eyes are red without it, so I thought I'd fix it before I took another picture." He says, Oh, yeah, sure. I can fix it up real quick. But that ain't how cameras work. I shrug and say, well, that's how this one works, as I eye the big vending machine with the tasty, sweet, sugary water I need. Dr. Pepper. He clears his throat and says, I think you better check on your friend. Could I see one of these pictures? I set my Dr. Pepper gently on the counter before grabbing the picture out of my pocket. I brushed some lint and a loose Cheerio off the picture before handing it to the man. He looked at it for a moment and said, Oh, dear God, your friend is in great peril. You must help him. I shrug again. Okay, how much is the camera repair going to cost? Because I could really use another Dr. Pepper. I'm almost out. And all I have is a 20 and 5 ones. The man speaks louder now. Just go. No need to pay. And grab a cold, refreshing Dr. Pepper on your way out. I nod and grab my camera, my Dr. Pepper, and my other new Dr. Pepper to save my best friend from a demon. That's the end of the story.
That's the end. Were you paid by Dr. Pepper?
No.
I think you have to say.
Yes.
Okay. As long as we're clear about that.
Not really. I wasn't.
No.
I have to make that clear also.
Yeah, that we secretly were but aren't paid by Dr. Pepper.
Now you have no idea.
Yeah. Dude,
Except
I love those.
we weren't because
I love those Diet Dr. Pepper ads on TV with a little sweet.
It's the sweet one?
It's the sweet one. A little sweet
That's how he says
sliding
it.
down the banister. You know? I love them. I
do
love
those.
the cold, crisp, refreshing taste of the 23
Pepper.
flavors of Dr. Pepper.
That's right.
It's kind of got a medicinal quality to it, though. I do love Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's why it's the doctor. Anyway.
That's why they call it Dr. Pepper and not Mr.
Dr. Pepper. Well, he did go to school for 8 years, so
I didn't go to school for 8 years to be called Mr. Pepper.
I think if Adam Sandler makes another movie, he has to get paid by Dr. Pepper, but he'll be a professor named
Dr. Pepper.
Mike Pepper. In the first scene is someone goes, Mr. Pepper, and he goes, I didn't go to school for 8 years to be called Mr. And then he goes, fine, Dr. Pepper, and then he takes a swig right to the camera.
One.
He slams one right to the camera. Anyway. Okay, this is my last story.
Yeah, let's hear it.
This is the prompt. My friends and I were having a sleepover when spooky things started happening every few minutes. I don't personally believe in ghosts or goblins, but after what happened last Friday, I am a bit more open-minded. It was the 13th, and me and my friends were about to have an epic night of fun and games. We stayed up late playing video games and watching spooky movies. When it turned into 3 a.m., we started to hear a voice from the other room. Because of our movie, we were not able to hear what the voice told us. My friends began to get scared, but I knew that ghosts and or goblins are fake, so I continued to watch our movie. About 5 minutes later was when the next event happened. My friend Danny said that he felt something touch his shoulder. We all thought he was pulling some kind of prank, but then something else happened. Danny began to float above the couch and fly around the room. My other friend started screaming, and at this point, I was starting to think that something was going on here. Then a portal opened up on the wall, and a sign pointed to it and said, Ghost Zone. He was thrown into the portal, and it disappeared. My friends were freaking out, but I wasn't sure it was real. Science could probably explain it. Finally, an old man appeared in front of us, and if I wasn't so skeptical, I might have thought it was a ghost. Then he said, My name is Greg, and I'm an old goblin that died and is now a ghost. He even handed me identification that certified from the government of the United States that he was a goblin ghost. He then picked up all of my other friends and took them to the ghost zone. I haven't seen any of my friends at school since that night, and now I am at least open to the idea that ghosts might be real.
Oh, Trace. I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah, I miss my friends.
Is that Danny Phantom?
He did go ghost and never returned, so...
He went ghost, as in he died.
As in he's dead now, I would assume.
And in the ghost zone. He could still be trapped there. You need to go get him.
I don't know if I believe it, though.
And then a portal opens up behind you.
Like an actual portal. What if all of these 3 stories did happen to me?
I would be...
I mean, the first one is true, is like the most possible, because it's just me describing Despicable Me 2 and then saying that I wanted to be a Munyon that Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. God.
But did you like that one?
Yeah, that was really good. I was very scared.
You're scared of all the ghosts?
Scared of the goblin
and or
ghost.
goblins. And the goblin ghost.
Yeah, he's a real goblin.
Yeah. Yeah, that was out of the 3 probably my favorite one, just because of how stupid it was.
Something might have been going on.
And now I'm at least open to the idea that ghosts might be real. But yeah.
Okay.
Let's round yours off and then finish up the episode.
Yeah, okay. So, again, my prompt starts it. I did change it to be first person rather than... It was in second person. So it said you instead of I.
Oh, I was about to say, I don't ever really think I don't think I know what the hell second person is.
I think that's second person. I could be wrong.
I mean, you have a better idea of it than I do, because I've never known. I only know first and third. But anyway.
I get home, tired after a long day's work, and ready for a relaxing night alone. I reach for the light switch, but another hand is already there. I cry out in surprise. After all, I live alone. And I see the lights flick on and a beautiful woman standing there. I clutch my chest as she says, "Honey, are you all right?" I look around the room. It's clean. Not a depressingly empty chip bag or delicious Dr. Pepper in sight.
Sick callback.
I look back at her and ask, "What's going on here?" She cocks her head to the side and replies, "What do you mean? I usually greet you when you get home. Is that what a wife's supposed to do?" "My wife? What are you talking about?" I ask, as I back away slowly. "I'm not married. What is happening here?" I bump into something in the hall. I hear a small voice behind me say, "Hey, Dad, what's going on?" I heard a scream. I look behind me to see a little boy standing right there in the hallway. I wake up to the sound of the intro of the next movie on Netflix starting up. I look around and see the bags of chips, the candy wrappers, and the delicious cans of Dr. Pepper. They were absent a moment ago. I slump in my chair and look at the TV and watch as the logos of production companies flash across my screen. All just a dream. Another night, all alone. Again.
Is that it?
Yes.
That one wasn't scary. It was just kind of sad.
The true terror is loneliness.
That's true. That's good. I liked yours a lot. You had two great scary stories and one depressing one. But yeah, that's
and two stories involve Dr. Pepper in some way.
Yeah, at least in some way. It really, honestly, I feel like we have to get in contact with Dr. Pepper and have them pay us now.
Yeah, it's an obligation.
It is an obligation, legally binding. They have to do that. But yeah, that's our 3 stories. So I guess.
Let us know which ones were your favorites.
Yeah, one of mine or one of Sam's. We don't really have titles for them, so have fun with that.
So like the Dr. Pepper camera one, or like
the sad
Minion synopsis.
Yeah.
The sad lonely man. Banana U.
That was good.
Or Goblin Ghost.
Or Spooky Witch.
Spooky Witch. 1% smaller head.
If it's gonna be that, if that's gonna be the title, it's got to be the full thing. 1% smaller head, 1% bigger facial features.
Yeah, that's that one's title. So if you say any of those, we'll know what you're talking about.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, so that's the main portion of the Spooktacular. We're gonna wrap it up with today in
what
today
happened
in
today?
history. Today is not the 31st. It is sadly the 26th.
Pretty far away.
Pretty far away. But today, it kind of ties in. In 1984, on October 26th, The Terminator, directed by James Cameron, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton, is released in the United States.
Well, how about that?
Now you might be saying, Trace, Terminator ain't scary. You must be thinking about T2, because the first Terminator is pretty fucking terrifying, if I do say so myself.
It's a lot spookier.
I mean, it's not spooky in the sense.
Maybe not spooky. It's like a thriller.
It's like, who's gonna get shot in the face next?
Yeah, who's gonna die?
So
That should be the like subtitle.
the Terminator. Who's gonna die?
Who gonna die
Are
next?
you Sarah Connor? Yes. And then he just fucking shoots a lady, like a random lady.
That was here's a really true fact about the Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first cut of the movie. Is he walks up to Sarah Connor and he goes, "Are you Sarah Connor?" And she goes, "Yeah." And then he shoots her, and then the credits roll. And James Cameron turns around and goes, "What do you think, guys?"
To the movie executives.
Yeah, and they say, maybe a bit longer.
Maybe longer than 10 seconds.
He's like, "Oh, come on. You don't see this as good?"
It's great, James, but...
They say it's really good, James, but maybe a little longer.
This just looks like a cold-blooded murder. Nothing...
He huffs, crosses his arms. Well, I guess we'll just do what you want to do, he says.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's entirely true.
I do know something that is, though.
Okay.
The original title and plot, the title kind of explains what the plot might be, but it was originally going to be called The Terminator, and what was going to happen was, in the future, they were going to send back a robotic termite to hunt Sarah Connor. But then when they realized that you couldn't really see, I mean, of course, the Terminator was being voiced by Arnold Schwarzenegger still. But when you couldn't really see...
Why did I picture a big termite and not a little one when you said that? I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like a big ant, basically. Like a big robot ant. No, it's a little teeny tiny one.
True to size, actual scale, termite, but he's robotic.
Termite nader. He might Terminator.
No. Well, then they said, Terminator's a good title. Maybe not a termite. And then it hit.
James Cameron said, "This is too good to release. We have to change it.
This will win every Oscar from this year on.
It'll kill people with how good it is." So we can't release this.
See the Terminator and fucking die. It's literally, I know this is a second reference, but it's literally like opening the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's fucking hilarious. But then they changed it to the Terminator, but different. So he might, like you said, he might Terminator. And then they were like,
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
title.
they were like, this movie is so bad that everyone will die.
Yeah, so they found a middle where everybody likes
Everyone likes it, and it's like
maybe not everybody.
It's a classic.
But...
And they were just like, Just do the Terminator. That kind of works.
James Cameron was like, nailed it. I hit the sweet spot.
I hit the sweet spot. Not too good, because no one wants a movie to be good, like way too good.
It'll kill him.
That's why Avatar kind of stinks, is because it was originally going to be really good.
Yeah, there were going to be like at least 2 robotic termites.
Yeah.
Which would have been a little too much for everyone. Anyway.
Now we're going to kick it over to Sam's Holiday Corner.
Yeah. Today is... Where is it? Where did it go? Oh, there it is.
26th.
Yeah. As Trace just said, the 26th. It's National Pumpkin Day.
Hey.
So grab yourself a pumpkin.
Don't do anything with it. Just grab it.
Yeah. And just hold it and enjoy it.
Is tomorrow National Jack-O-Lantern Day? Are you supposed to carve the pumpkin tomorrow?
No, it's National Pumpkin Day.
Well, I said tomorrow.
Oh.
Like, is Tuesday National Jack-O-Lantern
Oh, do you
Day?
want me to
Well,
check?
I was kind of... It was kind of like more of a
Let's
joke.
see.
But...
It's not. You're an idiot.
Oh, that makes me feel bad now.
Tomorrow is National Boxer Shorts Day.
That's pretty good. Why is it like... They're like, okay, leading up to Halloween, we're gonna have everything Pumpkin Day, and then they forgot that the 27th happens.
Yeah, they forgot about that
And they're
number.
like, shit, what is it? And they were like, I guess we don't have boxer shorts filled in anywhere else.
Yeah, I guess we got to put it here.
Um,
It's also a worldwide Howl at the Moon night.
I feel like that's gonna be celebrated by mostly furries.
I mean, we could break the trend.
And not be furries or become furries.
We could break the trend by howling at the moon and not being a furry.
Oh.
But, I mean, if you want to be
Well,
a furry, you can
our
go for it.
trend right now is that we're not furries. That's the trend that we have set, is that me and you are not furries.
Yes, we're not.
So, totally not.
Or at least I'm not. I can't speak for you.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a furry. I would never do something.
That sounds really disingenuous.
I would never do something like that.
I mean, I don't care.
No, I'm really not.
You gonna howl at the moon?
Tomorrow, probably not. But yeah, I would say carve a pumpkin
Tomorrow?
today.
That's Boxer Shorts Day.
Oh, today's also Howl at the Moon Day.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said
Tonight.
that tomorrow was also. I'm confused.
No, I think you're
I'm
confused.
But I'm with you now. So maybe I'll grab a pumpkin and then go howl at the moon if I'm feeling like it.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling
And
like
we can howl at the moon together.
if I'm feeling like doing so many spooky things at once.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway.
I would suggest carving your pumpkin as well. Don't just grab one. I carved a pumpkin with my little brother the other day, and it was a lot of fun. I haven't done that in a while because I'm an adult now, and the only thing I can do is vote and file taxes. So, so, but yeah, have fun. Get ready for Halloween. Even though this year's going to be a lot different for everybody because of things. My water bottle just popped. Don't let that stop you from having fun this year. So yeah, but that's going to do it from our perspective. Thank you all for listening. If you got any friends who you might think would like to listen to this show, I don't know why they would, since we argued about Hubie Halloween for 16 minutes. But
or if they'd like that sort of thing, please
recommend it to them. We'd love to have them. And thank you for staying with us. Also, leave us a rating, leave us a review. Tell us how you like what we do on our show. Good, bad, or otherwise, we'd love to hear from you. Also, if we're not on a specific podcast platform, let us know. Like, we're pretty much on everything, as far as I know. At least the main ones, like Spotify and Apple and Google and stuff like that. So we hit pretty much all the main ones, but if we're not on a specific, like, obscure one that is easier for you, let us know and we'll try our hardest to get on there. You can also find us on social media. We do post things sometimes. The more followers we get, the more we'll post, because right now we don't have a lot of fan interaction. So yeah, go follow us there. You can find us at FOP_pod on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find us at From Our Perspective on Facebook. Yeah, I think that's about all I have to say. Other than that, we post the podcast on Mondays, and we will see you next Monday. I've been Trace.
And I've been Sam.
Goodbye.
Toodaloo.